The day I escaped a dead man. How are you doing? I'm a police officer at La Bonaerense, and although I prefer the anonymity, I tell you that on the street you learn to have the most fear of the living than the dead. Back that night in the morgue, the laws of logic became frank. They left me studying a body for a homicide under suspicion. A girl who supposedly had taken her life, but the South with her neck said something else. It was not a nude of someone who gives himself up to death, he was the trace of someone who fought for his last breath. The order of the prosecution was clear, because the main suspect was nothing more and nothing less than the son of the morguer, who attended the risk that the father, taking advantage of the fact that the judicial morgue was collapsed, and that on top of the morguer who transferred the bodies with cold chains, was drowned and couldn't move the body so many kilometers to manipulate the brands before the car was parked under the nails and erase DNA traces. And there I was. He sat in a wooden bench in the entrance with the pain of death stuck in the clothes and a responsibility that burned me. While the morgue was making jokes and offered me coffee, I looked at him with my eyes knowing who his son was. I was afraid of his son, feeling that in any moment he would try to save his blood. In the middle of a psychological war where he saw me as a coward, afraid of his body touching you, looking for warmth or serving you in the corridor so that I would be afraid and lose myself. My real terror was not the dead, but the tiredness of the three of us who weighed me on the eyelids while smoking a cigarette so as not to fail the tax. Between the silence that goes up in the ears and the three gangs occupied by the girl, a man in the dead end that had entered the night, the Morgello went to the 2.30 throwing a black joke. He closed everything, here I have the keys, control them as they told you. From time to time I do not think they will go anywhere, he went and left me alone. He take a gun to the outside to pass the cold, looking at the smoke losing its darkness, counting the minutes for the next darkness, counting the minutes for the next control that I had to finish. 4 pulgadas the morning I hit the mud, entered the room and my heart gave me a hole that almost took my ribs out. He was missing a body. The flag where I was going was empty. The white soap, the one that covered it, the one that they put it on me to cover them, was thrown on the floor as if someone had hit it with a shot. He was frozen. Look at the sides, look under the tables, nothing. For a second my head was like crazy, resucitate. He was born AFG, they must be my companions, or they took him while I was smoking. I didn't know what happened. So I started to pray. He prayed but not because of fear, the ghosts, but because the body appeared in a corner. Because if I informed what was happening in the center of communication, I was missing a dead man, my police career ended there. In the middle of the attack on Nervios, I was hit by a handyman. In 911 they tell me, attention, mobile phone, the mother of the boy, the electrocuted. I called desperate, the father had a psychotic stroke. I entered through a window behind me, which was badly closed, and the boy took me to the horse, and now he has it in his bed in the house, saying that he is still alive and that they do not leave him alone. When the reinforcements arrived, my teammates looked at me and said, it was worse than any ghost. They told me, how are you going to let a dead person leave you? They said they didn't steal your gun, you must have slept. They threw me in between the laughs, a drop of the boss's blade that was on the phone that night. They brought me back to my body, cold and rigid. That night I couldn't sleep, not only because of what had happened, but because of the administrative summary that was coming to me. He was already asking for my salary in construction to keep my family. In the end, everything was left in vain and I understood that love and the madness of a father could make this the most serious. Today I laugh, but that night between the pain of death and the empty Saturday I felt that the world would end. I hope you can tell my story and I send you a big hug. Good luck. Sometimes the obvious is what we miss most. From time to time I do not think they will go anywhere, he went and left me alone. Con este resumen concluimos, espero que te haya ayudado, nos vemos muy pronto en el siguiente reel.